What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another edition of Too Busy, Too Busy, Too Busy Tuesday. Hey, I'm so excited to be here. My name is Raffinée. If this is your first time joining us, whether you're watching or you're listening, welcome, welcome, welcome. Drop us a comment so that we know that you're here. I'm so excited because I have a special guest here tonight. But before I introduce my special guest, I got to tell y'all what Too Busy is because some of you may be brand new here. So, Too Busy is my series where I'm sharing and talking about things that I no longer have time or energy for. Now, this month, March, is Women's History Month. And what better way to end Women's History Month than bringing on a guest to Too Busy Tuesday? Now, y'all, you are in for a very special treat tonight, okay? My guest is a dear friend that I met, y'all, what was it? Back in, I guess, August we met, and we have been connected ever since. I am so grateful for her life and just all the energy that she's going to bring, the wisdom that she's going to share with y'all. It is going to be a treat. So let me read this bio so that we can get into this conversation, okay? So, Marchelle Sterling is an education administrator with over 9 years of leadership experience. Marchelle began her journey in the classroom as a teacher for 7 years, but continually progressed, stopping along the way as a team leader, assistant principal, and currently principal of a top-ranked elementary school in Grand Prairie Independent School District. That's here in the DFW area for y'all don't know where Grand Prairie is. Now, her passion to lead others sparked at a young age when she opened her own school, the Dabney School to Learn. The Dabney School to Learn provided an outlet for Marchelle to confront her fears and conquer her challenges. Each of these experiences have qualified her to uniquely lead and motivate others to realize their potential and achieve greatness. Now, I got to tell y'all this before she says hey to y'all. Marchelle started her own school? What? I'm gonna have her tell y'all about that before we jump into the topic for tonight. But listen, y'all, Marchelle is a powerhouse. She hosted a symposium earlier this month and she so graciously invited me to attend, and it was my honor. And y'all, it was a whole vibe, it was a whole experience. And I just loved it because she was there. She gave all of her. And when I tell y'all she killed us with these outfits, baby, I saw Marchelle Saturday morning, right? We ran into each other. She had on like some jeans. She was cute though. I was like, hey girl, it's good to see you. We hugged. I saw Marchelle maybe like 30 minutes later when the event started. I was like, okay, outfit change. Yes. Hit us with the leather skirt. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, y'all, join me in welcoming my special guest, Marchelle Sterling. Yes, come on.
Yes! Hey! Hi, friend. How are you?
Oh, yes. I'm so glad you're here.
Yes, I am excited to be here. Hey, good evening to those that are joining us on Too Busy Tuesday. Come on now.
Yes.
Hey!
You got to hit them with the
Yes,
3 times, though. You
I
got to
know.
do it
Good
like you
evening,
normally do
good
it.
evening, good evening. Yes, you
Yes.
know how I do it. You know how I do it. You know how I do it. Listen, she's read the Bible. I am a speaker. I'm a principal. I am a preacher. I am a preacher, and I am my little hidden secret, which is not much of a secret. But my husband and I are vegetarian, so I really like. I'm a foodie, but I really like really good vegetarian food. So that is like my little hidden secret. I love what I'm doing. I love kids. I love people, and being able to talk and motivate and just have conversations with people about just the practicality of life and keeping it simple but being passionate about it. I just love it, and I simply just love, I love people. So yes.
Yes,
Yes.
we're so excited. Now, y'all, listen, when I had this conversation with Marchelle to invite her to Too Busy Tuesday, one of the things I asked all my guests is like, tell me what's something that you are too busy for, something you don't have time or energy for, because I don't want it to be my topic. I want it to be yours. And Marchelle quickly was like, you know what? I'm too busy for not believing in myself. And I said, yes, say some more. I want to hear something about it. So, Can you tell the people a little bit about where this sparked from? And, if Dabney School to Learn has something to do with this, or we can come back to that later, because I do want the people to hear a little bit about your school. But where did this kind of come from? This, like, you know what? I don't have time or energy for not believing in myself.
Well, friend, let me just say this. It really, when you asked me to come on, I really had to stop and really process and really think about it, because I give a lot of thought, because I just don't want to be talking just to be talking. Like, talking has to be with a sharing has to be with a purpose. And
Yeah.
so when I thought about that, I'm like, you know what? I want to be able to share with people what is one of my biggest struggles for myself. Because to me, when you can talk from your perspective and what you've been through and what you continue to fight, it means so much more, and it resonates more with people versus me trying to make up things that, oh yeah, well, I'm too busy for this. So really it comes from my own personal struggle of, you know what? I once had time, or I once made time for that.
Mm,
And this is just kind of the situation. But now, you know what? I'm too busy for that. I'm too busy for not believing in myself. Like,
yeah.
I'm not doing that anymore. Like, that's not who I am. And I've come a long way, Raffinée. I have come a
Yeah.
long way. And I just don't have time for it anymore. I just figured, why should I waste my time not believing in who I am, not believing in my dreams, not believing in my hopes? Like, why am I making time for it? So I'm just like, I'm too busy for that. No, not
Yeah.
anymore.
I love that. Now, Marchelle, tell us a little bit about what did you see happening, like when you were not believing in yourself? What did that look like? If we were watching you on a movie, what might we have seen in your life?
When I wasn't believing in myself,
Yeah.
it, Raffinette, it comes across as not living out your, like I said, not living out your hopes, not living out your dreams. So it would have looked like me, honestly, just being very reserved, very to myself, and creating this persona that because if you came to the game plan, one of the principals that came on, she was laughing and she said, Marchelle talking. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, it's Sterling talking, because they called me by my last name. They called me Sterling. And they're like, if Sterling talking, I'm getting behind whatever she's doing, because she never says anything. And
Yeah.
that's what it would look like if you were at a principal's meeting. I'd be sitting back at the table, Raffinette, and I'm just sitting there, and they're just the talking, and I'm just like,
Wow.
I'm not saying a word. Like, I am not talking. The meeting is over with. I will go. Whatever you say, whatever it was that you said, do, like, that's what I was going to do, but I wasn't going to talk about it. I wasn't going to confront it. I was just going to go along with it and do whatever. It would be me
Mm,
hiding and not being my true self. I say all the time that people don't know me. It's because the door wasn't open. And so
okay.
not believing in myself mean that I didn't want people to think that I came across as a certain way. And so it was hiding from me and not shining. Now my husband knew who I was. I could come home, laugh, tell jokes, be funny, be me. Like, come home and
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, like we have a whole thing going on at home, just cracking up, laughing, cracking jokes on each other, doing this, doing that. But you wouldn't see that because I was like, I didn't have that confidence enough to believe in who I was. And it showed up in everything. I mean, people know I said a million times, Raffinette, at church, getting up to speak. I'm not a preacher. I just, you ask me to get up and say something, I'll get up and say something, and I'm gonna sit down. And I'm allowed to be like, no, that's for my mom. And I would, Raffinette, I put it off on my mom and be like, oh, that's her. She the preacher. Oh, no, my husband is this. They're all that. Me, I'm just the quiet one. And so I would always just talk about being in the background. The background is what it was for me. And I was like, I'm fine with the background. I said, it's a lot of room back here. But that
Yeah.
wasn't believing in myself.
Okay.
It wasn't believing in my abilities. It wasn't believing what I had to offer to others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. People in the comments, they like, yes, this is good. You shining now. I love it. Now, Marchelle, in the background, would you say that you were pursuing the things that you desire? Because you said it could be okay to be in the background. So there might be somebody watching this like, well, I'm kind of in the background. Is the background itself an unhealthy space to be? Or can there be anything maybe about the background that could be okay?
It's okay to be in the background if that's where you for me, Raffinate, it wasn't. Like in the background for me was allowing me to hide and not be me. It was allowing me
Mm,
to, it was like I used it as a cover up, not as and I was good in the background. Like I was okay with it, but I think the background for me was developing me to get to where I am right now. The background is not a bad
yes.
spot,
Come on. Say that
but it
again.
develops you to where you need to be. It's what are you doing while you're there? And for me, it was preparing me for the spot that I'm in right now with where I'm going and with what I'm doing. Like
Hmm.
but I needed to step up and I needed to step out and I needed to walk in who I knew I was,
Yeah.
but just did not have the confidence to be that person in the moment. But the
Yeah.
background is good if that's where you have to know where your space is. And sometimes for some, you're in the background helping to push and lift up the other people. And there's nothing wrong with being in the background, lifting up others, saying, hey, I'm gonna make sure that your hopes and dreams and everything comes to light.
Yeah. That's good. I
I
like
see some
that.
people saying in the comments, they said, I like the background.
Right.
And you do,
Background is
and
beautiful.
the background is beautiful, and sometimes we do. It's we have to know, Raffinate, for ourselves where we need to, like, where do we need to be, where do I need to go, and what role do I need to play? Because for
Hmm.
me, the background was just, I was using it as a way to shield myself and to hide. And sometimes, Raffinate, I'm still, like, when I tell you guys that I no longer have time for not believing in myself, I'm telling you, because like, I talk to myself daily about, girl, you got this, girl, this is gonna work out, girl, you're going to be fine.
Hmm.
Because old habits, I like to say that old habits are hard to break. Like, old habits are hard to break. It is easy sometimes to slide back into that when
Hmm.
you've had a rough day, when it's been hard and you're like, not
Yeah.
today. Like, I just don't, I'm not feeling it today. You have
Hmm.
to I have to remind myself that it's that daily dose of, you got this, you're gonna do
Hmm.
this. Like, yes,
Hmm.
you're not going back to that.
Yeah.
That's not, and that's a conversation I have with myself daily. Daily, I had this conversation with myself.
That's good. One of the things I think happens too is like it's easy to fall back into that to the point you were just making because it's comfortable. You know what's going to
Ooh,
come from that. So I know what it's going to be like for me to fall back into the background and do what I was doing in the past. Like I know the outcome of that. It's I see that happen all the time in my own life as I work with my clients. Like we go back to stuff because we know
yep.
it's consistent. It's like I know what to expect if I fall back to this, and it's comfortable at some level.
It is comfortable, and it's the comfort though, because it's like eating I laugh because it's like eating comfort food. When you have a set, it's
Mm-hmm.
we go back and we eat the comfort food that makes us feel good. It's the same thing. We roll back
Totally.
because we fighting against ourselves. It's that person within that you have to talk to, and it's you have to bridge those new gaps and make those new connections in your brain so that you don't go back.
Yeah, I
And I
love
know
that.
that gets psychological, but it is, you have to break the old and then make those new connections within your brain so that you don't, because it's easy, because you're fighting yourself to say, no, no, I'm not, no, 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 because you want to go back to this because this is what you know. This
Hmm.
is easy. It's
Yeah,
hard to step into the unknown.
totally. Who
It's
wants to do that?
hard. Who wants? No, nobody wants to do that. It's like who wants to? Who wants to? Everybody wants the. Ralph, okay, everybody wants the easy job, the easy way. Give me the easy money. Who doesn't? But it's work to actually put yourself out there, to actually have to do it. And I go back to, I don't want to say it. Now listen, you go 10-minute motivation, you gotta do it afraid. I'm just saying, but that's not what we talking
Yes,
about. We're too busy for not believing in ourselves. I'm just saying.
I love that though. That's what you talked about though. You
Yes.
talked about doing it afraid. Now, let me ask you this, because we can still talk about not believing in yourself. How has this concept, because Sunday during your live, you talked about doing it afraid. how has that tied into or helped you to continue to go forward in believing in yourself?
Raffinée, it. Listen, I'm not going to night. I get all teary out of it because Raffinée, every people at times look at, I know they'll look at you and they'll look at myself and I know we all look at others and we think about others people's strength. We look at somebody and say, oh, they're so strong, but they don't know sometimes the secret battles that we battle ourselves,
Yeah.
the struggle to show up, to show out, to like, I'm doing this because I just can't fail
Yeah.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that do it afraid is comes from that same house of not believing in myself, because I have to tell myself, no matter if I feel it or not, sometimes the fear and being afraid is not going to go away, but you have to do it anyway because
Yeah.
it's still going to be there. And that's
Mhm.
what it is. It's like not, but like those feelings will be there, but it's how do I process it? How do I work through it? How do I show up? Even when sometimes I'm saying, I just don't think I can, but I tell myself I have to do it afraid or I'll never do it. I'll make a million of excuses to
Yeah.
why I shouldn't. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this. You don't know who life you're connecting. You don't know who you're impacting.
So
Because
true.
if we spend way too much time there, you don't know the people that you are. It's like, and I see somebody was coming and they're saying, I can't fail myself. That is true. You cannot fail yourself.
Mhm.
And you have to do it anyway. I show up, Raffinée, because I have spent so much time and so much energy. When I was preparing and really just thinking and praying over tonight, one of the things that came to me was, Raffinée, I said, I have spent a large majority of my life not believing in myself.
Mm.
Why don't I spend just as much time, all the years, 20 plus years I spent, 30 plus years doubting, not believing, negative self-talk. And sometimes
Mhm.
you get yourself up and you're like, oh, I'm gonna fight, it's gonna be good. And then something hits you and you knock yourself back down and you're like, see, I knew I shouldn't have did it.
Mhm.
But if I
Mhm.
can spend all of those years not believing in myself, I think I can give myself the other 40 to believe in myself.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
I can balance the scale out just a little bit.
Mhm.
If I gave it that much time not believing, why don't I spend the same amount of time in greater believing that I can get there, believing that I have something to provide, believing that I'm good enough. Just,
Yeah.
just
I'm
my,
good enough is lit. Listen,
just my thought.
we're not gonna be here all night. Let me just say that
No,
first. But we could totally be here all night on I'm good enough. Like I like to say that I'm a recovering perfectionist. And someone told me once, Raffinée, what if you adopted this phrase of that things are good enough, that you're good enough? And I was like, no, thank you. Don't, no. And she was like, what? And I was like, no, thank you. Too busy, basically. And I was like, good enough is less than what I want it to be. Like I want to be perfect. I
perfect.
want it to be like 100% A plus
That's
plus
it.
every single time. So good enough is not meeting the mark. And I found myself mulling over it and starting to really think about what she was saying and the principle underneath that. And I was like, man, I think I'm expecting myself to live up to this standard that really is unattainable. Like, I'm
Mm,
not going to reach perfection. So, thereby reminding myself that I am good enough, that I'm good enough to be a therapist. I'm good enough to be a speaker. I'm good enough to sing and do all the things that I'm doing. And one of the things you and I talked about in our conversation that has contributed to that I want us to talk a little bit about is the comparison. So tell me a little bit about how you have seen comparison play a role in your ability to believe in yourself or not believe in yourself, maybe even.
That comparison is, it can be, I like to say it can be deadly, it can be fire if used the right, depending on Raffinée which direction it goes in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to speak for me. For me, I am getting myself to a place where it's okay, because I can look at, like, okay, I'll take you for example. Let me listen, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. I don't hang around people that I don't think that's like way smarter than me. Let me just put that out there. And so I think Raffinée is way smarter than me, but
Oh
in
my
a good,
gosh.
healthy, seriously, the girl is bad. I just want to let you all know, like, whatever she had going on, I need everybody to go to it. But that, okay, I know that's not what she want me to talk about. However, but in a good way, I have learned to allow myself to look at others and say, hey, you know what? They're doing this. You know what? I never thought about, maybe I can do that. Or if they're achieving a certain goal, I'm like, why am I not doing it? Why am I sitting back and
Mm.
being relaxed or being sad or not doing? Because what? They're doing it. And it's a comparison in a good way. Now, I will tell you that, and I'm gonna say this quickly. Now, I will tell you that but it is taking, and it's still taking me time to get there, because when we started Next Level together, I walked in that room on Zoom, guys, and those that are listening, I'm not gonna lie to you, I got on that Zoom. These people started telling, listen, let me look on in this camera. Let me tell y'all something. These people started telling, these ladies started rattling off their abilities, their titles, what they do for a living. And I was like, oh, Jesus, wait a minute. I'm in the wrong group. I'm just in the wrong group. And night one, just that little bit, I was like, I'm done. That's it. I'm not in the right group. My husband will back me up when I say I got off that call that night, Raffinée, and I told him, I was like, I don't know who told me to sign up. I don't know what made me think, but I never get a refund. Like, I need this lady to give me back my money. Because at the time, I felt that when you do comparison, the comparison for me in that sense was intimidation. And it wasn't like people didn't make me feel intimidated. I projected that onto the situation.
Say that again. People didn't what?
People did not make me feel intimidated. It was nothing that anybody did on that call. They were just simply sharing, hey, I'm a licensed therapist. I do this. They were just sharing. One of us was a professional basketball player. Like, remember, I'm thinking, okay, these people, and who am I? Oh, I'm a principal, and I'm a principal. That's what I do for, I'm a principal and a preacher, and I don't even know why I'm on this speaker thing. It wasn't that I projected it onto the situation myself. That was my perception of the situation was intimidation. But I have thus worked that, because and now my lens is to change, and I look at it and I'm like, oh, you know what? Hey, so-and-so is doing, and we're all working it and collectively together. I even look at other principals and say, hey, what you doing? You doing that? Okay, cool. Bet I'm doing that. And we laugh and we share, but I'm learning to change it so that it impacts me in a positive way and not in a negative way. And it helps me to share, I honestly believe in myself and share with others, because usually what happens when you do comparison for me is then I don't want to tell other people what I'm doing, because I'm like, maybe it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Maybe you won't like it. And I'm like, maybe not. But now I flipped it, and I'm like, it helps me to believe in my abilities, honestly, and to share those with people. And then people have lots of takeaways, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't, oh, you're doing this. Yes. And we begin to share, which makes it even better.
Yeah. I love that. Man, I'm gonna chop that clip that you said. Like, people weren't making me feel intimidated, but it was like me projecting that. That is golden. And so I'm gonna chop that clip, and you gonna be on my page. I will tag you and you'll get all your rights and stuff. But we gonna make a reel out of
Come on,
that
friend.
because people
Come
need to
on,
hear that
friend.
again. Yes, all the people in
Yes.
the back need to hear it again. But that's
Yes.
so real. That happens, and I love what you said because it's a reminder that I like to say it as there's room for all of us, and there's space for all of us, and we don't have to minimize who we
Nope.
are for the sake of someone
Yep.
else's gifts and or talents. Like there can be
Oh,
space and opportunity literally for all of us.
there's
Um
room.
okay, so we almost out of time, but this is so
Okay.
good. We gonna have to bring you back. We
Okay.
is me. We is Raffinée.
Come on, friend. I know. Yeah, that's what I meant about we. You're like, that's what they mean.
um so any final thoughts or words for the people? Maybe something of encouragement you would say to the person that's listening or watching that maybe is struggling to believe in themselves, or just any final nugget that you want to give to the people as we close up tonight.
Okay, I'm giving a final quick nugget. Listen, let me tell you something. Listen, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. Period. Point blank, bottom line.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's nobody else's job, duty, or responsibility to believe in you, to make your dreams go, to get you where you want to be, to get you to the next level, but you. I'm not going to drink your Kool-Aid if you're not drinking your own Kool-Aid. I'm sorry.
Yes, come on.
I'm not. I'm just not. You better believe in your own product.
Yes.
Because then I get behind your dream and I support your dream and your vision. But I'm not getting behind what you second guessing. I'm not putting my money on that. Believe in
Yes.
yourself so the rest of us can get behind you and support you. That's it.
Drop the mic there. We done. Bye. See y'all next Tuesday. Marchelle just dropped the mic. I was putting your quote in there about not believing in yourself. Then you said if you're not drinking your Kool-Aid, I'm not. Bless us tonight. Yes. Believe in your own
Not
product. That's what she said. That's what
believe in
she
your own
said.
product.
I'm
Believe in your
here
own.
for it. Yes, we're
Believe in
having
your
we're
own.
having you back. Okay. Now, this is my question I'm asking all my guests this season. So, question for you. What is something that you were previously too busy for that you now have time or energy for?
It's simple, Raffinette. I thought about this and it is so simple. And you guys are gonna be like, Marchelle, I honestly made time to be quiet, to not speak up.
Mm.
That I was too busy for it. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want you talking. I really probably didn't want you talking to me. And I would put my mean face, and I would, now sometimes I do have faces, but I would be like, I planned out, and I'm going somewhere, and I didn't feel like it. All I had to do is get the face on.
Mm.
But that was a way of, that was just something I was too busy because I did not want to deal with, people. But now, come on now. Hey,
I love it.
yes, I love it. I've made time
Yes.
for it because I've grown. I just love, I love when I really think about it and like it gets in like deep rooted, like Raffinée, I'm like, I love, like I've grown to love people and to love. And it really came from me finally believing in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be here. I make time for that. But now I make time to love on people and to really show what was already written. I'm not going to say nothing else. It was already really there.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't want it to come out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real. That's really, really good. Come on. So having time
So,
now to love on the people. And she does, y'all. She does love on the people. Y'all gotta follow Marchelle. So tell the people what you got going on
yes,
right now. Where can they follow you? If they
gotcha.
want one of these shirts, Speak Sturdily Speak.
If you want, okay, so follow me on, I am, and I'll be honest, audience, I am 100% on Facebook. As of right now, I actually do still principal, and it gets a little crazy doing the two, but I make it work out. And so I do my 10-minute lives. It's your vitamin M. Come get your motivation on Sunday night at 6:30. Come get it. You need it. Yes, you need it for the rest of the week. It gets you through. I'm just saying. So it's on Facebook, on my Facebook page. It's just Marchelle Sterling. You can find me on Facebook. If you go in Google, my page is open. It's there. You can find me on Facebook. Come get your vitamin M. Yes, it's there. It is. Follow me. You see it. You see it going by. Follow me on Facebook. You see it going by. And then if you look on my page, I have all the information for my next upcoming event. It is an autism awareness. Kids are close to my heart. Obviously, I'm a principal. I'm in education. So on Saturday, April 9th, I am going to be in Inclusion Park. It's in Alvarado, and all the details are on my Facebook page.
Sweet. Y'all go follow Marchelle, okay? So
And the shirt, you can
Marchelle.Sterling.
DM me if you want to. There's also, I also have a, and I should say that I have a website. It's marchellessterling.com. Everything is my name. Everything is Marchelle Sterling. Marchellessterling.com. If you want the shirt, you can slide into my DMs and DM me, and we can, and you can purchase a shirt. We also have some that say hashtag Team Sterling. And I also have the Inner Circle. And so you can join the Inner Circle to know ahead of time events, things that's happening, and then just little giveaways and different things that we do. So that's it.
Dope. Thank you so much, Marchelle, for joining me tonight. This has been phenomenal. We're going to have you back. Next season of Too Busy, we having you back because you dropping all the nuggets. Thank y'all so much for watching. Those of you that are listening, thanks for listening. Join me. I'm here every Tuesday night, y'all, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time for Too Busy. Too Busy Tuesday. Hey, Too Busy Tuesday. All right. Y'all have a good one.